Hello one and all, as my review Attack on Titan Chapter 126, Pride. And we open up with Hanji murdering her fellow Scouts members. Okay, that's pretty grim. Oh, and she's crying. Yeah, it definitely takes a toll to kill your fellow soldiers. But she's doing all this to save Levi, to keep him safe. Even though he looks like freaking Frankenstein at this point. I mean, seriously, how are you still alive? How is it possible that you survived that freaking explosion in this shape and you're still what one would consider being technically alive? I mean, Hanji, blames it on the Armin powers. They have enhanced healing, durability, what have you, that keeps them from not dying in these situations. They can better serve the Titans, but that is still freaking insane. I'm actually really curious what's going to happen with Levi, because it does not seem like at any point in the near future, unless we have like a 6-month time skip, he'll be able to fight again, and Levi's whole thing is, I'm the best fighter, so curious. I mean, I could possibly see him becoming one of the 9 Titans. There's been a lot of debate about whether an Armin can actually become a Titan. Hanji seems to wonder the same thing here, wondering if his Armin gene is what kept him from turning into a Titan. Seriously though, imagine freaking Levi, who was already classified in this chapter as being as strong as one of the 9 Titans, also getting the power of one of the Titans. That would be fun. That would be really freaking fun. Other than that, I'm just really not sure what his role is going to be moving forward. I mean, there had to be a reason they kept him alive, other than the fact, the fans would form an angry mob if he was actually killed off. But we'll see what happens. At this point, Hanji flashes back to the man that she tortured. Really curious what to happen to him. Is he in jail? Is he free? Was he executed for his crimes? A lot of questions about that. And back then he said, at some point down the road, if you do this revolution, if you win, there will come a time where people view you as the monster, where you become the very thing that you just tortured me because I was. Because just how it works in this crazy freaking Attack on Titan world. There's no way to live, there's no way to survive without sacrificing others, without doing horribly awful, terrible things, because everyone else is doing awful, terrible things, and you can't really fight them with happy thoughts and warm hugs. She also basically says, you know what, let's just forget about all that crazy stuff back at the capital. We'll just live out here, we'll live a happy life together. Levi, I shall become your bride, or maybe you'll become my bride. We'll figure that down the road. Which is just absolutely adorable. I know some shippers have lost their freaking mind over that comment, but it makes a lot of sense, They literally have no other option than let's just keep running forever. I mean, maybe they could hop on the boat over to Marley and find a way to live a happy life far, far away from Paradise Island and Eren's, immortal god power, but then they're interrupted by Eren's vision announcing he's going to murder the entire world. I find it very interesting Hanji is holding a hammer when this happens. Some people are speculating that maybe this means she's going to inherit the Warhammer Titan power somehow, some way. I think there is a whole lot of fun stuff she could do with that, and I think it'd be really amazing to see that happen. And just like with Annie, this seems to wake up Levi, the, vision of apocalypse running through his head. And he doesn't actually care the world's ending or anything else like that. His first thought is, Beast, piece of shit, where is he? His very first thought is, I need to go freaking kill Zeke. Which I absolutely love. Yeah, so his first thought isn't, well, we need to stop Eren from destroying the world. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to protect the people. We need to go back. His first thought is literally, I need to go kill Zeke. Because I failed to kill him twice now, and it's really starting to tick me off. Oh my god, I love you, Levi. I'm not actually sure where Zeke is right now. I'm guessing he's part of the Eren God Titan, like he's being restrained, and Eren's holding him up so he can suck out his blood so he can keep using the royal power. I mean, they said, Eren probably using him for his royal blood Titan abilities right now, but is that even the case? Because Eren, talked to Ymir, he managed to convince her to side with him, so is she even listening to royal blood? Does that actually have any effect on anything moving forward? After I read this chapter, I was speculating, they're probably going to go to Historia now, draw some of her blood, inject it into all their Titan shifters, then get super powered upgrades. But if Ymir's really changed sides, Ymir is no longer loyal to the royal blood, to her captor, essentially, then that actually wouldn't do anything. I'm not sure. Very curious to know what happens about that. Anyway, then we get the negotiating between Hanji, Levi, Peak, and Theo. And this is a very tense moment. I do love Theo here. It seems like you have strength on par with the Nine Titans, but how do you intend to dodge my bullet like that? I mean, even with a gun pointed at his head when he is completely bandaged, when he has no chance of stopping him, Levi does not show a single ounce of fear, and I think this actually terrifies Theo just a little bit, seeing the resolve in this dude's eyes. And so they agree to combine their strength and take down Eren. Somehow. I don't know how. I mean, seriously, he has this giant army of Titans all around him. And they're still moving in the middle of the night, which is also terrifying. Anyway, like I was saying, I've been speculating for a while now that Eren can't actually control these Titans. That he has no real ability or authority over them, and he was only able to use the power for a split second, only able to give out that order for the Titans to flatten the entire world. And after that, the strain put him in a coma or destroyed his brain or something, and now they're just following the last orders Eren gave, when Eren can't give any more orders. Because it definitely seemed weird when Eren released all the wall Titans, the other Titans still kept attacking his fellow Eldians, so it seems like he had no authority over there, no power at that moment, even though, he can see the future and he's essentially a god right now. I think it was just too much for him, and now he's sleeping or recharging or something until he can issue another order. Maybe in a few days, maybe in a few months, maybe not for another decade. And a little disappointing Connie here, he's thinking out this whole plan, like how he should feed the Falco to his mother, what's the best way, what's the risks and all that. And yet he stopped to let the kid sleep. Why? You can ride fairly well in the dark, and you're on a bit of a time limit here. I would have just kept going. If you just kept going, if you slept for 5 less minutes, Falco would be dead and your mother would be back to normal. Just saying. And so then he finally gets back to his village, and Falco's starting to get a little bit worrisome here. He's like, wait a minute, this is the village that we turned into Titans. Wait a minute, Sasha's the girl that Gabby murdered. What's going on here? I mean, he probably would have figured things out sooner if he realized he was a Titan, but at this point he's like, no, the Jaw Titan is the other guy. I'm not him. There's no way I could have that power. I think I'd remember if I was a Titan. Though Eren forgot for many, many years that he was in fact a Titan himself. And you just gotta love Connie's creepy, creepy smile here when he suggests they brush his mother's teeth. I mean, that's not even a good lie. That's seriously the best thing he came up with all night of thinking things through. That was his best solution. Wow. Thankfully, at the exact moment, Gabby and Armin show up, and Armin decides to kill himself. He's like, yes, that's exactly what the old commander would have done. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Just like he ran off headfirst to Titans, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to kill myself right now. And you gotta love his last words are, please forgive Connie. He actually doesn't want Gabby to hate Connie for what he's about to do, for what he tried to do at least. And then he attempts to jump headfirst into Connie's mother's mouth. And Connie stops him! Yay! And that was a very, very stupid plan. I know I get Armin suicidal, I know he's been through a lot, I know he can't live up to the commander. But Connie's mother would be a useless Titan. Seriously, try explaining to this woman who doesn't even know that Titans can turn into people, mother, not a soldier, that she's the new Titan and she's going to be super important in this war they're fighting against what is essentially God. That would not go over well. And so Connie decides that, you know what, Armin, after seeing you attempt to commit suicide, I've decided I'm going to become a soldier my mother's proud of. I'm sure she wouldn't be proud of me attempting to feed a child to her, but we'll make up for that down the road, don't you worry. I am curious if his mother is going to wake up at some point. Like, when Eren's done, when Eren's killed, or when Ymir is finally put to rest, will all the Titans go back to being people? I think it'd be very interesting if all the wall Titans do that, and they all turn to people, and then they're like 1,000 years old, they just turn to dust. Though I guess Ymir, Historia's Ymir, stayed a Titan for several decades, centuries, and she was fine, so that was actually really interesting. Just thousands of people from, 400 or 500 years ago, all waking up like, what's happening now? Why are we working with Marley? Why aren't we Titans anymore? That would actually be a really funny moment. Anyway, then Mikasa finally finds her scarf again. Turns out Louise took it, and Apparently she wanted to wear it while she's dying. Yeah, so she only has a few minutes left to live, and Mikasa's like, yeah, well, I want it back. It's mine. You can't have it, even though you're gonna be dead in all of maybe a day. Which, very grim. Very, very grim. Especially her lines here. I can't see Eren Jaeger set the world free. Seriously, this girl. It feels just disappointing to have her die like this. I don't feel like there's more potential for her moving forward. Maybe she'll somehow manage to survive. Maybe they'll figure out a way to take out the Thunder Spear. Heck, maybe she'll become the next Titan. Maybe she'll inherit the power and then she'll be like, yay, I'm alive, I'm cured. Woohoo! Unlikely, but possible. And turns out she has a scarf because Eren ordered her to throw it away. Which I think makes a lot of sense. A lot of people are saying that's like, oh, it's just proof Eren doesn't care about Mikasa at all. But I definitely it's the opposite. I think he's trying to remove Mikasa's attachment to him. I think that's why he's doing this all this time. He's trying to make it so that she doesn't care about him anymore, so that she won't mourn him when he's dead. I really do think it's end up being like a Code Geass thing, you know, where he makes the entire world hate him, where he draws all the hatred and fear of the world upon himself, so that when he dies, everyone can start living happy lives together, putting aside their differences, because they work together to stop the real evil in the world. It's actually really relates all the way back to when Eren first unlocked his Titan ability. Pixis says, someone once said something along the lines of, for humanity to succeed, they must unite against a common enemy. And in this case, it's Eren. He is the common enemy that the entire world is going to come to despise and hate and fear. And once he's gone, you know, peace. And that was even, you know, implied when Eren basically declared war. Because the guy that Eren thought was the Warhammer Titan, he actually said the big enemy isn't the Eldians. It isn't anyone on the island. It isn't Paradise. The true enemy is Eren Jaeger. And now, look, Eren Jaeger is basically a god coming to murder everybody. So, no more Eren Jaeger, then no more war. I mean, there's still the issue with the Jaegarists, who are, you know, in love with Eren. But I think Eren might be able to solve this just by manipulating the memories, because he has that power, in case you've forgotten. He can erase and alter memories. So as he's dying, you know, he can erase the memories to make people think, oh, we never supported Eren. No, that's crazy. We were never on board with that. And all the Eldians will remember it that way, and he will, in a sense, create world peace with his death. Anyway, then we flash over to the Jaegarists, and I am still very confused on how Flock took power. How did he become the leader of this cult, essentially? When did this happen? How did this happen? Why him? Also, Jean is apparently following him, though later turns out Jean's just playing him, betraying him, but I kind of wish that wasn't the case. I could actually see Jean becoming a Jaegerist. I mean, he's been trying for a very long time to really figure out his place, his purpose, what it is he's supposed to do. And joining a cult like this, it actually kind of makes a lot of sense for him. I could see it happening. And the whole Jaeger's attitude spreading to the entire world. Even while there's rubble and destruction and chaos and hundreds dead, they're still all shouting, freedom! Jaeger's bonsai! Dedicate your hearts! I will devote my drink to Eren! I mean, I kind of get where they're coming from, you know? Eren's a god, and it's best to be on the good side of a god than to criticize a god, especially when that god has an entire cult of people killing anyone who disagrees with him. Just saying. And they start talking about Annie and how she's probably woken up, and I really have to ask this, Armin. Why did you not go check? I know you were kind of a rush to stop Connie from killing that kid and all that, but that feels like something you should have checked on, or Mikasa could have checked on, or one of you should have gone and checked on. I mean, aren't you, like, in love with her because you have Berthold's memories inside of you? Why did you not go check? I mean, seriously, even if you don't care about Annie whatsoever, she's been petrified for years. Do you have any idea what that could have done to her mindset? She could have woken up, stumbled outside, immediately gone crazy, turned Titan, and just started rampantly murdering people for all you know. And yet you never thought to go check on her. Why? Anyway, as they're talking about Annie, all of a sudden they turn over and they're like, oh, Annie's right next to us. Oh my freaking god, I love that. Oh my god, I love that. And they're all very shocked and confused, especially Connie, who's like, look at how much pie she's eating. She's eating 4 years worth of pie. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm sure Gabby and Falco have a lot of questions about how Annie is still alive and what she's been going through the last 4 years. And then she leaves without telling Hitch, which is really sad because the note Annie leaves is absolutely heartfelt. I'm sorry for being a nuisance. Thank you for talking to me for these last 4 years. Farewell from your malicious roommate. I mean, that's downright sweet right there, and I'm really hoping Hitch plays a role. We see her again with Annie, maybe, when Annie goes back to Marley, sees her father. Hitch can go with her, assuming her father hasn't already been murdered. I mean, he did take a soldier's gun. That's the kind of thing that's likely to get you killed. Anyway, then Flock decides that it's Eren's will that we kill these two people because they just don't like us, which, of course, is exactly what Eren's going to be. I mean, this whole, myth and philosophy is all about how we should hate people who just dislike us, even if they aren't going to do anything to hurt us. Kill people who aren't our enemies and all that. We got better to live our lives as slaves, afraid of everyone around us, than just living free and let people live happy lives. That's exactly what Eren would have wanted. First off is Yelena, who was actually helping Eren this whole time, but she was loyal to Zeke, not Eren, so they're gonna kill her, and you just gotta love the things they yell at her. They're just filthy Marlians after all, which... so much wrong with that! So much wrong with that! You people are the Eldians. You know what it's like to be discriminated against by the Marlians, and now you're discriminating her for being a filthy Marlian. Oh, that hurts my brain. Die, whore! Okay, no idea where that even came from. That's just straight up mean right there. Hurry up and go to hell already. Well, I think hell would be preferable to having all you very angry people yelling at me, honestly. And I do love her last words. You haven't shot me yet? Gotta love that. Anyway, then over to Anyan, who, I'm not actually even sure why they're killing him. He's just mad that Eren is gonna kill his family. That's it. And when asked if he has changed his mind, he starts laughing. I lent my strength to Eldian in order to rescue my homeland from Marley, but it was also for the sake of all you. And that's what I get as a result, my homeland being crushed and my family massacred. Well then, all that's left are lousy chauvinistic bastards. There's no value in sucking up to you lot. You should know how absurd it is to get indiscriminately killed without warning, right? Why don't you guys understand? Yes, exactly. That's exactly what you people went through. And now you're doing it to the other people. Why? Anyway, then Jean fires at him and he misses multiple times. And then the Car Titan shows up and eats Jean, Yanya, and Yelena. And they all got away. Oh my, who could have seen that coming? Also, Mikasa's missing. I wonder if that's related. And they're all packed, ready to go, and they make a break for it. Though they do see somebody watching them, and I'm not really sure who that's going to be. I don't really recognize the silhouette all that much. I mean, I've heard people say, oh, that's Zeke. He somehow managed to escape, but that doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. And then they all get spit out and start complaining about how the Car Titan doesn't brush her teeth, which is absolutely freaking hilarious. And for some reason, Theo wants Yelena brought back alive. I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but it can be interesting. Anyway, then Reiner gets his face kicked in by Annie. And I'm sure he has a lot of questions about why Annie's alive and why she really hasn't aged in 4 years. And why she's in the same room with Gabby, Falco, Connie, Armin, and Mikasa. Because that's a very strange group of people to be in the same room together. I mean, Annie alone, I mean, I'm gonna assume Reiner thought she was dead, even though he wasn't entirely sure. Held captive, prisoner, something. Either way, he wasn't expecting her to look this good after, 4 years on Paradise Island. And then we get a badass line. Let's hurry up and go. Go to where? To save the world. And yes, it's a very badass line, but the only problem with it is the site I was reading this on didn't load the last page. So, and I couldn't find another source for like 12 hours. So for 12 hours, I ended this chapter with Reiner saying, go to where? And be just wondering, what's going to be the next line? What's he going to say? What's going to happen? And then he said, go to save the world. I'm like, oh, well, that was pretty obvious. I thought they'd say, go to wake up Eren, go to do something else. I had like a million different theories in my head. It was just like, oh no, we're going to go save the world. I'm like, oh, well, that was obvious. Really not sure they're going to do that. But at this point, they're allied with the entire Marleyan army, so that's helpful. They have Mikasa, who is an Ackerman and freaking badass. the Colossal Titan, the Female Titan, the Armored Titan, the Pack Horse Titan, and the Jaw Titan. So if anything in the world can take out Eren, it's them. Now, exactly what taking out Eren is going to entail, I'm not sure, because, well, we're in two different situations right here. Either one, Eren is in control enough or gave an order that if he is attacked, the other Colossal Titans are going to try and defend him, going to try and stop him from being murdered. Or two, they're just on autopilot and he can't really control them at this point. Now, if they're on autopilot, taking out that giant Titan, I can't imagine it'd be too big of a hassle. I'm sure they can find a way to hold him back, tie him down, something, so they can cut out the nape and take him out, stop him, kill him, whatever method they're planning on doing. But if he can control the other Titans, if he gave them an order saying, hey, come protect me, that's a much more terrifying situation and involves them having to fight literally 1,000 Titans at once. That would be much, much harder to do. That would make for a much more exciting finale, so who knows. And we are definitely, getting close to the ending here. This is the Alliance. Marlians, Eldians, all the Titans essentially working together against all the remaining Titans. Well, except Zeke. No idea where he is at this moment. I'm assuming Eren has him tied up inside himself somehow, so he doesn't, interfere with Eren's plans. But hard to say. So yeah, next chapter is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be more just strategizing and coming up with a plan, figuring out what to do, figuring out his weakness, figuring out how to go after him, more than the actual, fight beginning, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, though, I do think this could be a Code Geass moment. Eren's making the entire world hate him, so they unite to kill him. It might sound like a crazy plan, but he can see the future, so he would know if the plan worked out or not. And this could really be, the end of the Age of Titans. And if he dies and Ymir no longer wants to work with the royal family anymore, she could essentially cut off the power, make it so that Titans can't be made anymore. Because, she makes all the Titans. She has to hand make them. So if she's no longer in the mood for doing that, it could mean the end of the Age of Titans. But I guess she is still making them because as Peak is still a Cart Titan, but she hasn't, I think she's stayed as the Cart Titan this whole time, so it's possible they can't turn back to Titans right now because Ymir is turned against them. Definitely an interesting twist I don't think a lot of people would see coming, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens moving forward. Let me think all this down below. Be sure to like, subscribe to the next video. Until then,
peace.